Be me, Jane, HR director at mid-sized tech company. 20 years in HR, seen it all, or so I thought. Finally got approval for my vision, building the perfect marketing team. All women, 15 positions, 0 men. This is my chance to prove that female-dominated workspaces are naturally more collaborative and supportive. Spent months carefully selecting candidates, hired brilliant women from diverse backgrounds. Marketing manager Sarah, creative director Amanda, content specialists, social media coordinators, the works. Feeling like I'm about to change corporate culture forever. First week goes smoothly. Women seem professional, excited about the projects. I'm practically glowing during executive meetings. Tell CEO Michael about how refreshing it is to see genuine teamwork. No masculine ego clashes, no territorial behavior. This is exactly what I predicted would happen. Start drafting internal memo about the success of gender-conscious hiring. Week 2, small cracks appear. Notice some eye rolls during team meetings. Sarah mentions that Amanda misunderstood the brand guidelines. Amanda responds with that smile. You know the one. Too sweet, too wide, doesn't reach the eyes. Brush it off as normal adjustment period. All teams need time to gel, right? Week 3, first bathroom incident. Find marketing coordinator Lisa crying in the women's restroom. Ask what's wrong, she claims, nothing, just stressed. But I catch her looking toward the marketing department with this haunted expression. Mental note to check in with the team later, probably just deadline pressure. Month 2, the notes start appearing. Passive-aggressive sticky notes on keyboards. Please remember to refill the printer paper when you use the last sheet. Some of us actually care about office supplies. Another one, whoever keeps taking my yogurt from the fridge, karma is real. Find it odd, but figure it's just people establishing boundaries. Healthy communication, even if indirect. Start noticing the lunch groups. Always 3 or 4 women together, never the full team. Sarah, Amanda, and senior copywriter Rachel always sit together. They stop talking when other team members approach. Content manager Beth eats alone at her desk every day. When I suggest team lunches, get enthusiastic agreement, but somehow it never happens. Scheduling conflicts, they claim. Month 3, first formal complaint. Lisa comes to my office, says she feels excluded and undermined. Apparently, Amanda publicly questioned her campaign metrics in front of clients. Amanda's version? Lisa's numbers were wrong, she was just fact-checking. Both women crying by the end of our meeting. Promised to investigate, but honestly, seems like miscommunication. More bathroom tears. Different women each time. Beth sobbing because someone accidentally deleted her project files. Junior designer Kelly upset about constructive feedback that sounded more like personal attacks. Creative coordinator Nina claims her ideas are being stolen and presented by others. Starting to feel like a grief counselor instead of HR director. Month 4, the real warfare begins. Walk past marketing department. Notice the hostile subgroups. Sarah's crew sits on one side. Amanda holds court with her followers. Beth and 2 newer hires cluster together defensively. Kelly works in isolation, headphones constantly on. When they have to collaborate, communication happens exclusively through email, even for people sitting 5 feet apart. Witness the most passive-aggressive email chain in corporate history. Subject line, clarification on brand voice guidelines. Sarah sends initial email questioning Amanda's creative direction. Amanda responds with 14 paragraphs explaining why Sarah's marketing strategy lacks sophisticated understanding. Sarah replies with point-by-point breakdown of why Amanda's designs miss target demographic, both CCing entire marketing team, department heads, and me. Email chain reaches 47 messages before I intervene. Tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. Team meetings become psychological minefields. Every suggestion met with barely concealed contempt. Sarah proposes campaign idea. Amanda immediately finds 17 reasons why it won't work. Amanda presents design concept. Rachel asks clarifying questions that are obviously designed to undermine. Nina attempts to contribute, gets talked over or ignored completely. Lisa stops speaking unless directly asked questions. Discover the gossip network. Overhear Rachel telling someone from accounting about Beth's personal issues affecting her work quality. Catch Amanda explaining to facilities manager why Nina probably isn't a culture fit. Sarah complaining to finance team about having to carry dead weight. Realize they're weaponizing other departments against their own teammates. Month 5, projects start failing. Client presentation disaster when Amanda and Sarah give contradictory information. Campaign launch delayed because team members refused to share essential files. Lisa's social media metrics plummet after someone changes passwords and doesn't inform her. Kelly's designs mysteriously corrupted the night before major deadline, starting to panic as other department heads ask what's wrong with marketing. More bathroom incidents. Now finding women crying multiple times per day. Installed additional tissue dispensers. Jokes during leadership meetings about marketing department's tissue budget. CEO Michael starts asking pointed questions about team performance. Productivity metrics showing significant decline. Client satisfaction scores dropping. Catch Sarah and Amanda in conference room having heated whispered argument, something about client contact information and territorial behavior. They immediately fall silent when they see me. Switch to discussing weekend plans with fake enthusiasm. This behavior spreading throughout entire department. Discover the lunch exclusion. Tactics. Overhear a planning session for team outing. Realize certain team members being deliberately left out of group chat. Beth finds out about bowling night through Instagram posts the next day. Nina excluded from farewell lunch for departing intern. When confronted, always innocent explanations. Oh, we thought you were busy. Didn't want to overwhelm you with social obligations. Snide comments becoming more frequent and vicious. Amanda loudly commenting on Lisa's interesting fashion choices. Sarah asking Rachel if she's feeling okay, because her skin looks tired. Whispered conversations about Kelly's weight gain. Discussions about Nina's unprofessional accent, creating atmosphere of constant judgment and criticism. Month 6. Complete breakdown of collaboration. Projects requiring teamwork becoming impossible. Information hoarding reaches ridiculous levels. Simple questions met with, "That's not my responsibility." Team members scheduling meetings at identical times to force others to choose sides. Shared drives become battlegrounds over file organization and naming conventions. Witness manipulation tactics that would make Machiavelli proud. Lisa comes to my office sobbing about being bullied. 20 minutes later, Amanda arrives claiming Lisa has been spreading rumors about her. Both present compelling evidence of victimization. Both clearly engaging in psychological warfare. Feeling like I need a degree in detective work to sort through competing narratives. CEO Michael calls me into his office. Client complaints piling up. Other departments avoiding collaboration with marketing. Asks directly if there's leadership problem in the team. Find myself making excuses I don't believe. Promising improvements that seem impossible. Start questioning everything I thought I knew. This wasn't supposed to happen. Women are supposed to be naturally more collaborative. Female workspaces should emphasize empathy and communication. Instead, witnessing levels of cruelty that shock me. Psychological manipulation more sophisticated than anything I've seen from men. Month 7, the breaking point. Major client presentation scheduled. Discover team has split into 3 hostile factions. Each group preparing separate presentations, refusing to coordinate or share information. Sarah's group claims Amanda's group is undermining brand consistency. Amanda's group insists Sarah's group lacks creative vision. Beth's smaller faction tries to stay neutral but gets attacked by both sides. Day of presentation arrives. Client confused by contradictory messages. Team members openly disagreeing with each other in front of executives. Amanda corrects Sarah's statistics while Sarah undermines Amanda's design rationale. Client asks direct question about campaign timeline. 3 different answers from 3 different team members. Lose the account. CEO demands immediate meeting. Sits me down with performance metrics showing marketing departments complete. Dysfunction. Client feedback describing team as unprofessional and chaotic. Other department heads reporting hostile interactions. Michael asks if I need help managing the situation. Realize I have no idea how to fix what I created. Emergency team meeting to address issues. Attempt to facilitate honest discussion about communication problems. Instead, witness masterclass in passive-aggressive deflection. Every problem is someone else's fault. Every conflict stems from other people's unreasonable behavior. Tears flow freely as manipulation tactic. Women crying while simultaneously making accusations. Leave meeting feeling more confused than when it started. Seek advice from mentor Patricia, HR director at larger company. Describe situation without revealing my demographic hiring strategy. Patricia immediately asks, "How many men are on the team?" When I admit 0, long pause. She gently suggests that gender-balanced teams often perform better. Mentions something about different communication styles providing natural checks and balances. Hang up phone, feeling like my worldview is crumbling. Start researching workplace dynamics literature. Find studies suggesting mixed gender teams often outperform homogeneous groups. Discover research on relational aggression being more common in all female environments. Read about indirect hostility patterns that exactly match what I'm witnessing. Realize I may have created perfect storm conditions. Month 8. Situation deteriorates further. Now dealing with multiple HR complaints weekly, accusations of bullying, harassment, discrimination. Every team member claims to be victim of others' behavior. Investigation process becomes full-time job. Documentation fills entire filing cabinet. Legal department expressing concern about hostile work environment liability. Witness conversation between Sarah and Amanda about Lisa, discussing her emotional instability and whether she's really marketing material, coordinating their documentation of her performance issues. Realize this is calculated campaign to force someone out. Most sophisticated workplace bullying I've ever encountered, all done with smiles and concern for team dynamics. Catch Rachel and 2 others in supply closet, planning how to present united front against Nina's difficult personality, discussing which managers to approach with their concerns, strategizing about email documentation and witness statements. Level of planning and coordination rivals military operation. Disperse quickly when they notice me. Bathroom has become permanent crying station. Installed bench because so many women need place to sit while sobbing. Tissue budget exceeds some departments' entire supply costs. Facilities manager jokes about installing individual therapy rooms. Not funny anymore. Team productivity at all-time low. Missed deadlines becoming routine. Clients expressing concerns about service quality. Other departments refusing to work with marketing. Project management asking for alternative points of contact. Reputation spreading throughout company. Michael schedules performance review meeting. Presents data showing marketing department underperforming every metric. Client retention down 40%. Project completion rates abysmal. Employee satisfaction surveys showing lowest scores in company. Asks directly what's wrong with my management. Find myself unable to explain without admitting my hiring strategy backfired. Desperate attempt at team building retreat. Rent conference center for day-long collaboration workshop. Hire professional facilitator specializing in workplace harmony. Within 2 hours, facilitator pulls me aside. Says she's never seen this level of interpersonal hostility. Recommends individual counseling and possibly team restructuring. Retreat ends early when Amanda and Sarah get into screaming match about seating arrangements. Realize I need to consider bringing in male team members. Thought makes me physically ill. Everything I believed about workplace gender dynamics crumbling. Spent years advocating for female-centered hiring practices. Now facing evidence that my theories don't match reality. Feel like ideological fraud. Research male candidates for marketing positions. Find myself actually hoping masculine energy might restore balance. Thought process feels like betrayal of everything I've stood for. But team is beyond dysfunctional at this point. Something has to change before entire department implodes. Month 9, final straw. Walk into marketing area to find Lisa and Kelly having whispered argument. Apparently someone sent anonymous email to all clients questioning Lisa's competence. IP trace reveals it came from company computers. Investigation narrows down to Amanda's workstation. Amanda claims her computer was compromised. Lisa accuses Amanda directly. Amanda responds with tears and claims of victimization. Same day, discover that Nina's presentation files were deliberately corrupted. Backup files also mysteriously deleted. Important client meeting had to be postponed. Digital forensics reveal systematic sabotage. Multiple team members involved in covering tracks. Realize this is coordinated psychological warfare. Beth comes to my office with resignation letter. Says she can't handle hostile environment anymore. Describes daily anxiety attacks and insomnia. Mentions therapy appointments to cope with workplace stress. When I ask for specifics, provides detailed timeline of harassment. Involves every single other team member. Realize I've created hell on earth. Kelly quits the next week. Then Nina gives notice. Lisa starts missing work due to health issues. Team of 15 down to 11 in 2 weeks. Remaining members seem relieved rather than concerned. Celebrate departures with lunch outings for their core group. CEO calls emergency meeting. Presents ultimatum. Fix marketing department or he'll restructure it himself. Mentions bringing in external management consultant. Suggests complete staff overhaul if necessary. Asks again if I need help with team management. Pride prevents me from admitting total failure. Spend weekend reviewing everything that went wrong. Timeline of escalating hostility. Documentation of manipulation tactics. Evidence of systematic exclusion and psychological abuse. Realize I witnessed most toxic work environment of my career. Environment I created by believing in gender-based hiring. Research workplace aggression patterns again. Find studies on relational violence in female-dominated environments. Discover that indirect aggression often escalates without male presence. Read about social hierarchies and competition dynamics. Everything I'm reading matches exactly what happened. Monday morning, draft proposal for hiring male marketing professionals. Hands shaking as I type recommendation. Feels like admitting complete intellectual defeat, but team needs intervention before total collapse. Know this hiring will be questioned by everyone who knows my history. Submit proposal to Michael. Recommends bringing in 3 male marketing professionals. Emphasizes need for different perspective and communication styles. Carefully avoid mentioning that I specifically hired all-female team. Frame it as expanding diverse viewpoints. Michael approves immediately. Seems relieved that I'm taking initiative. Mentions that he was considering suggesting same thing. Asks why I didn't include men in original hiring. Mumble something about candidate pool limitations. Feel his skeptical look. Begin interviewing male candidates. Surprised by my own relief during conversations. Direct communication style feels refreshing. No hidden agendas or subtext to decode. Straightforward questions get straightforward answers. Realize how exhausting constant emotional navigation has become. Hire 3 male marketing professionals. David as Senior Marketing Analyst. James as Creative Consultant. Marcus as Campaign Coordinator. All have excellent qualifications and experience. More importantly, they seem psychologically stable. Announce new hires to existing team. Interesting mixture of reactions. Some women seem genuinely excited about fresh perspectives. Others clearly view newcomers as threats to established dynamics. Sarah makes comment about changing team chemistry. Amanda questions whether men will understand our collaborative approach. First week with mixed team feels different immediately. Men ask direct questions instead of making passive-aggressive comments. When David disagrees with proposal, he says so clearly and suggests alternatives. No hidden meanings or emotional manipulation. Conflicts addressed head-on rather than festering. Notice women modifying behavior around male colleagues. Backstabbing decreases significantly. Bathroom crying incidents drop to almost 0. Email chains become shorter and more professional. Gossip network still exists, but operates more carefully. Month. 10. Remarkable transformation. Team meetings actually productive. Disagreements resolved through discussion rather than psychological warfare. Project deadlines being met consistently. Client feedback improving dramatically. Witness interesting dynamic shifts. Sarah and Amanda's open hostility forced underground. Can't engage in same manipulation tactics with male witnesses present. David calls out passive-aggressive behavior directly. James refuses to participate in gossip sessions. Marcus treats all team members equally regardless of internal politics. Realize that male presence provides natural check on relational aggression, not because men are superior, but because they communicate differently. Directness prevents build-up of resentment and hidden agendas. Mixed communication styles create healthier team dynamic. Productivity metrics show dramatic improvement. Client satisfaction scores returning to normal levels. Other departments willing to collaborate with marketing again. Employee satisfaction surveys show marked increase. Michael stops asking probing questions about team management. Reflect on everything that happened over past year. Forced to confront uncomfortable truths about my beliefs. Gender-based hiring strategy created exact opposite of intended result. Homogeneous team led to toxic environment. I've never encountered before. Ideological certainty blinded me to obvious warning signs. Most difficult realization, women can be just as cruel and manipulative as any men I've managed. Relational aggression more psychologically damaging than direct confrontation. Indirect hostility harder to address and resolve. Emotional manipulation sophisticated and destructive. Start questioning other assumptions about gender in workplace. Maybe diversity includes cognitive and communication diversity, not just demographics. Perhaps balanced teams perform better because of complementary approaches. Begin wondering how many other progressive policies might backfire. Year later, marketing department functioning smoothly. Mixed team collaborates effectively. Conflicts resolved quickly and professionally. Client relationships strong and growing. Team members report high job satisfaction. Never admitted to anyone that I specifically hired all women initially. Official narrative credits improved performance to team restructuring and fresh perspectives. Michael occasionally makes comments about good hiring decisions. Feel like complete fraud, but team is thriving. Privately acknowledge that my ideological approach nearly destroyed department. Most humbling professional experience of my career. Forced to recognize that reality doesn't conform to theoretical frameworks. Workplace dynamics more complex than gender-based explanations suggest. Still consider myself advocate for women's advancement, but approach now emphasizes individual qualifications over demographic characteristics. Focus on creating inclusive environment rather than exclusionary one. Learned that true equality means hiring best candidates regardless of gender. Sometimes catch myself wondering what would have happened if I'd hired men from beginning. Would team have developed toxic culture at all? Impossible to know, but evidence suggests probably not. Mixed teams seem naturally more stable and productive. Colleagues occasionally ask for advice on diversity hiring, struggle with how to share lessons learned without revealing my failure. Want to warn others against demographic-based hiring, but admitting what happened would destroy my credibility. Late at night, reviewing old documentation from all-female team period, still shocked by level of psychological manipulation I witnessed, sophisticated campaigns of exclusion and harassment, coordination and planning that rivals corporate espionage, behavior that would make serial manipulators proud. Realize I owe apologies to women who quit during toxic period. Beth, Kelly, and Nina suffered an environment I created. My ideological experiment damaged real people's careers and mental health. Guilt keeps me awake some nights. Most painful admission, I became exactly what I always criticized. Discriminated based on gender, just in reverse direction. Created hostile work environment through biased hiring. Prioritized ideology over individual merit and team functionality. Workplace gender dynamics much more nuanced than I believed. Successful teams need cognitive diversity, not demographic uniformity. Best managers focus on skills, personality fit, and collaborative ability. Gender less important than communication style and professional competence. Current marketing team proof that balanced approach works. Men and women collaborate effectively when hired for qualifications. Conflicts resolved professionally, regardless of gender mix, productivity and satisfaction high across all team members. Learned humility about limits of social engineering. Good intentions don't guarantee positive outcomes. Theoretical frameworks often fail in real-world application. Workplace dynamics shaped by complex factors beyond gender alone. 20-year HR career taught me many lessons. But this experience fundamentally changed my approach to management. Now prioritize individual assessment over demographic categories. Focus on creating environments where all employees can thrive. Still believe in supporting women's advancement, but methods now emphasize mentorship, skill development, and fair evaluation, rather than preferential hiring or excluding other groups. True equality requires merit-based decisions and inclusive practices. Final reflection on most challenging year of career. Nearly destroyed department through ideological hiring experiment. Witnessed levels of workplace toxicity that shocked veteran HR professional. Learned that diversity includes diversity of thought and communication styles. Accepting reality sometimes requires abandoning cherished beliefs. Team continues to thrive under mixed leadership. Clients satisfied with improved service and collaboration. Employees report positive work environment and clear communication. Department reputation restored throughout company. Michael regularly praises marketing team's turnaround. Never want to experience anything like all-female team period again. Psychological warfare more exhausting than any workplace conflict I've managed. Emotional manipulation harder to address than direct confrontation. Relational aggression created hostile environment for everyone involved. Now, advocate for balanced hiring focused on qualifications and fit. Gender less important than ability to collaborate and communicate effectively. Best teams combine different perspectives and working styles. Demographics alone don't determine team success or failure. Hard-earned wisdom about workplace management and human nature. People are individuals first, demographic categories second. Successful teams require careful attention to personality mix and skills. Ideology should never override practical considerations and employee well-being.